Yeah, it's
Yeah.
broken. It's broken, clearly. And there needs to be a football reset. I mean, you could argue that some at the very top of the Premier League, due to their huge money coming in from overseas and the big TV deals, etc., you could argue about the economics there. But lower down, I mean, the average turnover, wages in the Championship are above turnover. And no business can really survive like that long term. And the EFL, when the Game of Fun was recognised, there needed to be a reset in football. And what we're calling for, because we are facing the potential for 10 to 15 clubs to go under in pretty short order. There's 10 to 15 clubs on a watch list right now in terms of whether or not they go bust. That's from the EFL. And if you think about it, that's one in 5, isn't it? If you have 15 go under, you got 92 clubs, 20 in the Premier League, 72. That's 1 in 5. That would be absolutely tragic for many communities around the country. So I think there needs to be a reset. This needs to involve, EFL, the whole of football coming together in order basically to try and bring about a sort of new economics, whether that's things like, for example, ending parachute payments, which tend to distort the Championship, and whether or not they need to have salary caps as well in lower leagues and potentially in the Premier League as well, in order basically to bring a more sensible relationship between wages and club turnover. I mean, this has been broken for years, and it's just carried on, and it's been able to sort of stagger from one crisis to another. But the fact that EFL clubs cannot get people through their doors, through their turnstiles, means that effectively they're in a position where they're facing extinction, because they don't have the big TV deal that the Premier League does. They rely on the match day revenue, and if there's no match day, then there's no revenue, then there's no players, and there's no football. Yeah, I'd also say that, I mean, so far the Premier League has made some money available, but it's only advance money available to the EFL. They said when they're in front of the EFL and not actually come to ask them yet, which I find very surprising that conversation hasn't happened. But any idea, for example, that there will be a government bailout there is for the birds, in my view, when there's a £9 billion TV deal at the very top of football, and the football family itself needs to come together and needs to actually work together in order to sort this out, because ultimately the Premier League needs to understand that without the lower league clubs, then there isn't that grassroots there, and without that, then we become, what do we become? There isn't that. It will die from the ground up, So we need to be really mindful of this. So I would say to the Premier League that they need to have conversations with the EFL, and this needs to involve how we go forwards, how there is a reset, how this is structured, and let's say and see if there's any sort of common ground there, because otherwise we are going to see clubs go under.